Well, how you going, everyone? Josh the Collector Guy. Hope you all had an awesome week yet again this week, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're able to have a little bit of a hunt here and there during the week's duration. Picked up a couple of new cars, maybe even found some good old vintage Hot Wheels, or even found some cool stuff off eBay. Hope you had an awesome week, everyone. Well, some of this is my finds for the week, ladies and gentlemen. Most of it is from a very good mate here in Australia, Ken. I've gotten a couple of packages off him in the past, which I'll just get to in a second, but I'll just show you what's in the video today. Just got a couple of vintage stuff here, steering rig and the good old power command cars. Some cars from the shops, probably nothing to ooh-ah about, and another Datsun Wagon, and a cool little variation between the two of them, which I'll share with you pretty much near the end of the vid, everyone. But first up, I'll start off with a package from a good mate, Ken. He mentioned pretty much a week or so ago that he had another accumulation of awesome cars to send over to me, which is really nice of him. Thank you very much, mate. Really do appreciate all what you sent to me. I'll just quickly go through some of it for you all. He, wasn't expecting Star Wars figures, that's for sure, even signed ones. That was very, very awesome of him to send those, signed by the actors who played the characters, I assume, in the Star Wars movies. Old Bib Fortuna. I think that butchered his name there, sorry about that, everyone, but pretty cool. Old Jabba's henchman, as I like to call him. And even a guy who played the Jawas, one of the Jawas anyway, signed one of the figures, so that's really cool as well. Don't mind the old Jawas. Just don't buy droids off them, that's for sure, because you probably won't get a good deal. So those are really cool. Wasn't expecting those. Even some more Star Wars stuff here. Brings back a lot of great memories. The old Star Wars Episode 1 stuff. Remember playing with it as a kid. Remember all the vehicles. I think we pretty much almost had all the vehicles as well from when I was a kid anyway. I remember playing with them. This one's still boxed, which is really cool to see, and just some other ones there. I think they make noises and that, which is pretty cool. And also the older 90s stuff brings back a lot of great memories for me as well. And even threw in some Matchbox catalogues. Always love looking through the old catalogues by Matchbox. Hot Wheels, in my opinion, back in the day anyway, Hot Wheels around the 60s and that did have a few catalogues and that. I know I've got one in the collection. Really awesome to always flick through and see what awesome models they brought out once upon a time. Love that Peterbilt truck there. That one's real cool. Lots of awesome vehicles. I highly recommend to you all out there, all you Matchbox collectors, even Hot Wheels collectors, trying to get your hands on some of these catalogues. It's always interesting to look through them. The old Battle Kings caught my eye, certainly. Love the old army stuff, and I remember that one greatly from when I was a kid. I think we picked it up from a Goodwill store. So that, really cool. See, that brings back a lot of great memories for me. I know that vehicle was a lot before my time, but it was still hanging around even back then in the 90s. And even some cool ones in here as well, like the convoys and that. I know there's definitely some vehicles in those I would love to track down and will be on the lookout for, so those are real cool. What can we get to next? The originals here. Haven't really seen these floating around too much. Really don't see them over here in Australia. They might have been an exclusive for maybe Walmart or something like that. Old hammered coupe there. That one's pretty cool looking and fantastic. I absolutely love that colour. It is fantastic. Sort of sounds French, I would say. So that one's really cool. Really nicely well presented as well. And even a few treasure hunts as well. Don't see too many treasure hunts these days. Well, supers anyway. A few in the mix there. Really like the Fangster, I have to admit. Reminds me of the old 90s or even 80s cars what were animals, pretty much, if that makes sense. So there's pretty cool ones there. What else can we get to next? Oh, some of the loose ones as well. Whoop, I'll just stuff everything up just here. Little Corgi 57 Chevy, made in Singapore, I believe. So that one's pretty cool. Really nice looking Ferrari. Couple of vets. Oh, Margarette 57 Chev. Remember something like this from when I was a kid. I think it was the Cheetos one. Mighty Camaro. Old colour racer. Pretty cool looking one. And the old Hot Bird. Old Smokey and the Bandit, really cool. Love my vintage Hot Wheels. Thank you very much, mate. Some Australian stuff as well. The old old Tirana here, GTR XU1, something like that. I think it's from the 70s. Peter Brock drove one of these. Old touring car racing legend over here in Australia. Like the old Tiranas, they're not too bad. An old Monaro here as well, which was also released in the USA as, I believe, a Pontiac GTO, I think. Yeah, I think it was. Really cool. And much recently, the Holden Commodore was released in America as the Pontiac G8, but unfortunately Pontiac went bust, so of course now it's the Chevrolet SS over in America, and I have to admit it looks quite good with the Chevy bow tie on it. What else? The old little Redline here, the old Formula 5000, really cool. Funnily enough, I got the chrome Blackwall version the other week, now I got the Redline to go with it. Very cool indeed, always love my Redlines. The old Ferraris here from the Shell gas stations over here in Australia. Well, I know that they've been doing this for quite a number of years now. The Shell gas stations over here, they always seem to release the Ferrari models. I remember when I was a kid, Dad went to the Shell gas stations and pretty much bought one of each of the Ferraris they had, which was pretty cool because I think Shell sponsored the Ferrari team in the F1, I'm pretty sure. So I guess that's how that all came about, and pretty cool. Old Ken sent me one. Really love the old Ferrari GTO. Really love it. Beautiful, beautiful looking car. The old Phantom, I think that is. The old Zamac and the normal coloured one for the KB Toys. That one's a pretty cool little promotional piece. And some carded ones up here just to round off. The Ghostbusters Ecto 1 from the Halloween, that one's really cool. Really appreciate that one, mate. I know every man and his dog was going nuts over these, and I think they still are. I can only imagine why. Look how beautiful it is. Probably one of my all-time favourite movie cars, the old Cadillac Ghostbusters car. And something from the Redline Club, the Neo Classics, the Noodleist, which is also known as the Noodlehead, but I think they had to change the name, or they couldn't get the naming rights for Noodlehead. So that one's pretty cool. Not too many of them floating around either. 3,500. So always love picking up the Redline Club cars when I can, but haven't for quite a while now. I think the last one I got was the mail-in 69 Camaro. So really appreciate that, mate. Really nice package all around. Dad and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the awesome stuff. Now we'll get to the stuff I found this week. Not too much at all. I know there is something else I am going to show, but you'll probably have to wait to a future vid, everyone. That one's really cool. Nice bit of vintage Hot Wheels stuff I'll sharing in a future vid, I mean. Sorry. So we'll get to the stuff I found at the shop. Probably nothing to ooh-ah about, everyone. I know all you guys have probably seen them already. I think this is one of the cases for next year already, what these cars came in. The old 70 Chevelle, very tough looking. The old Camaro, the Hot Wheels Camaro, very cool indeed in the yellow. And the Corvette Grand Sport. I finally was able to find one of these. I know I saw one, I think on the Hot Wheels Collectors website, and I thought I must have it. I love the old Corvette race cars. So those were pretty awesome to pick up from Big W over here in Australia. And something very unusual I found on the Datsun Bluebird wagon. I found one at the shop yesterday and I thought, oh cool, third one to the collection. But what do you know, it's a variation. As you can see under the base there, it's got the little Hot Wheels logo, Datsun 510 wagon, 2012 Mattel. Then down on this one, the Hot Wheels logo seems to be a bit bigger. Over near the back tailgate here, it's got 2012 Mattel, and then Made in Malaysia's all turned around different ways. So I'll see if I can get it in the light. Hopefully you guys can see it, because it's probably a bit crap, the lighting here. So I thought that was a pretty cool little variation. I hope you guys and girls out there can spot it, because I thought it was quite interesting, and I absolutely love my variations. Always try and pick up what I can of variations, and that I know it's a bit hard to look at the shop sometimes, but it always got to have a little bit more of an extra look when you're looking at the pegs, or even if you're at a swap meet or even a flea market. If someone's got Hot Wheels, always best to have a little bit of a check between the cars. Always remember what the bases are on the cars. I know with the vintage Hot Wheels, like with the variations like USA, Hong Kong, definite variations there than the interior variations. I know there's a few of those on the newer Hot Wheels, but you really don't see too much anymore in variations, or you really don't know about it too much anymore, in my opinion, because it rarely gets spreads around unless a lot of people have a good hard look at it, because I think there's a Skyline floating around with a roll cage variation and non-roll cage variation, and I think that's pretty cool with the variations. As I said, I love collecting variations, like with the older Hot Wheels and that. It's a bit easier to spot. You either see Hong Kong, Malaysia, Hong Kong, USA, different interior, different windscreen variation, different tampo variation. There's so many what's probably still undiscovered in the Hot Wheels, what isn't a variation. But I know with the newer ones, there probably is tons of variations out there. It's just that haven't really stumbled across too many of them. But I'm sure in the future there'll be probably price guides and that will probably tell you about all the variations and that. So pretty cool to find some new cars at the shops. Probably not too much to worry about, but I'm still pretty happy with those anyway. Glad to find some stuff for the most wanted list for the newer Hot Wheels. Now, last but not least, these three guys here. Got these off an Australian seller over here in Australia at the moment. It is quite hot in my part of Australia at the moment, in Queensland here. Really hot. I think it was around 40 something degrees today, which might calculate to be around 108 something degrees in, I think, Fahrenheit or whatever. If you American guys are tuning in, it's quite hot. And we've got the G20 over here at the moment as well, so I know the leaders are going to be quite hot over here as well. So back to the Hot Wheels. Got another steering rig, the old GMC General, probably my favourite truck, well, 18-wheeler truck you could say anyway, because, well, of course it's General Motors. I love General Motors. Really love the GMC General. Also made into a Chevrolet Bison as well, but I think I have heard that the GMC General seems a bit more common than the Chevy Bison, and I think the power plants in these things were either Caterpillar engines, Detroit diesel, or even Cummins power. So I think whatever you chose buying off the showroom floor, I think it would have been good power no matter what, because they're all pretty good, sturdy engines in my opinion, especially those Cummins engines. And got the old Araco gas tanker at the back there, unfortunately missing the steering rig thing, but still it doesn't really matter, and you can't have a trucking company with just one truck. You got to have a fleet of trucks. So really cool to pick that one up. Wasn't really that dear either. So always love finding my steering rigs. And the old Power Command cars. Love these cars to bits. Haven't found too many in quite a while, if not none at all. Got the old 57 Chevys. Finally got my hands on some of them. Well, on the 57 Chevys anyway. Always have been after these ones. Love the 57 Chevys, of course, because I'm a big bow tie fan. Really cool. The one in aqua and the one in red, probably my favourite one. And the old bow tie sticks out really good there, doesn't it? So I was pretty happy to get those. Always try and get what Power Command cars I can. Oh, there's even a variation on the spoiler. I didn't even notice that. The power's written in a different font. How do you like that? So how's that? You spotted a different variation whether you're looking or not. So that was pretty cool. I'm really happy with those. Love the Power Command stuff. Something from the very early 90s. I don't think we would have got them over here in Australia. If we do, unfortunately probably missed out. But always pick up the ones I can of those. Well, that's pretty much it for this week's vid, everyone. Thank you very much, Ken, again. Really do appreciate it, mate. Dad and I love all the stuff you sent to us and that. We'll enjoy it for years and years to come. Love those signed stuff, mate. Thank you very much for it. Well, that's pretty much it for... No, it's just going to fall over. That's pretty much it for this week, everyone. Really hope you enjoyed. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to everyone who tunes in each and every week. Really do appreciate it, everyone. Well, that's it for the vid this week, everyone. Really hope you enjoyed. And remember, as always, everyone, happy hunting. Keep the hobby strong. See you later, everyone. Have an awesome week.